This is Mrs. Wayner's Math Class, Chapter 4, Lesson 5, Problem Solving. Multiply money. Draw a diagram. Today's learning target: by the end of today's lesson, you should confidently be able to say, I can use the strategy, draw a diagram, to help solve a decimal multiplication problem. Sometimes you'll be asked to solve a word problem that tells you a fact about one person or one thing, and then tells you how many times as much another person or thing has, or it may say someone has a certain number of times more than another person. To solve these types of problems, use draw a diagram. Let's take a look at example number 1. Some friends go to Chipotle for lunch. Sarah spends $8.25. Shannon spends 4 times as much as Sarah. Jenna spends $3.78 more than Shannon. How much does Jenna spend at Chipotle? So what's the question actually asking me? They want to know how much Jenna spends at Chipotle. So let's go back and see what we know step by step. And if I go back to my first sentence, it says, some friends go to Chipotle for lunch. Okay, that doesn't give me much information for my problem, so I'll continue. Sarah spends $8.25. First person I learn about is Sarah, and this is exactly what she spends. So let's draw the picture for Sarah. When I'm ready to draw my diagram rectangles, I do like to abbreviate the names, but the only thing here is I do look at my entire problem, and I notice that both Sarah and Shannon have names that start with an S. So I don't think abbreviating is going to be good here. Therefore, I'll write the entire name, Sarah. I'll give her a rectangle with $8.25 inside, because Sarah has $8.25. Okay, I'm finished with the blue sentence. Let's move on to the next sentence. It says Shannon spends 4 times as much as Sarah. So this person is Shannon. She spends 4 times as much as Sarah. I'm comparing Shannon to Sarah. So what will I do? I'll draw Shannon's picture next. So I'll write down Shannon's name. And then the next thing I do is I see, who am I comparing Shannon to? I'm comparing Shannon to Sarah. That means I have to copy down Sarah's exact picture first. I'll do the rectangle with $8.25 in it. Now what does it say in the sentence? I'm comparing her to Sarah, so I have Sarah's picture, and Shannon spends 4 times as much as Sarah. So that means I need to see Sarah's picture a total of 4 times. I already see it 1 time, so let's draw it a second time, and a third time, and a 4th time. So now Shannon has 4 times as much as Sarah, because she has Sarah's picture 4 times. Let's move on to my next sentence. The next sentence says Jenna spends $3.78 more means plus, than Shannon. So who am I comparing Jenna to? I'm comparing Jenna to Shannon. Let's start Jenna's picture. So I'll write down Jenna's name. And if I'm comparing Jenna to Shannon, that means I have to copy Shannon's exact picture first. I see that Shannon has 4 boxes with $8.25 in each box, so I'll copy that picture. 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes. So whoever I'm comparing that person to, I copy their exact picture first. Again, Jen is compared to Shannon, so I have Shannon's picture. Now go back up to my green sentence, and what does it say? It says that Jenna spends $3.78 more than Shannon. So I'm going to add on another box that has $3.78 in it, since she does or spends $3.78 more than Shannon. So now I'm done with each individual person, and I'm up to my final question, and it wants to know how much does Jenna spend. So all I care about right now is Jenna. So I draw my arrow to Jenna because that's the only person I'm concentrating on. Now I'm ready to solve Jenna's picture to see how much Jenna actually spent at Chipotle. There are 2 ways that I can solve this. You're going to use the way that seems most logical to you, that you look at and you say, oh, that makes more sense. This is a multiplication of decimals lesson, so I'm going to show you the multiplication way first. I think that way may be a little bit harder, especially since there's not that many numbers here, but I'll show you both ways and you'll decide which way you like best. So for the multiplication way, I see that I have 4 pictures, each say $8.25 in it. Well, rather than adding $8.25 over and over again 4 times, I can simply say $8.25 times 4. We're ready to multiply, and I see a decimal in there. Multiply, divide decimals means must dance decimals. So first we'll dance decimal Dan out, 2 places, and circle him up. Then we'll multiply. 4 times 5 is 20. Put down the 0. Carry the 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 2 is 10. Put down the 0. Carry the 1. 4 times 8 is 32. Plus 1 is 33. Decimal Dan has to dance back in. Oh, this is a money problem. Don't forget my $sign. And now dance decimal Dan back in 2 places to get $33. But in addition to those 4 boxes at $8.25, we have another box we had to add on $3.78. So I'll take that $33 and I'm going to add on $3.78. Add, subtract decimals, always straight decimals. So I need to line up my decimal, 3 to the left, a 78 to the right, and now I can add them up. 0 plus 8 equals 8, 0 plus 7 equals 7. Bring down my decimal, 3 plus 3 equals 6, 3 plus nothing equals 3, which gives me $36.78. So I know that Jenna spent $36.78 at Chipotle. Boy, Jenna must have been really hungry. A different way I can solve this, if that seems better to you, is I can simply add all of the boxes together. $8.25, $8.25, $8.25, $8.25, plus the $3.78 to get my total. Let's see how we would do it in that way. Since I'm adding with decimals, add, subtract decimals means always straight decimals, so I have to remember to line my decimals up. So I'll have my $8.25, line up my decimal, my second $8.25, line up my decimal, my third $8.25, line up my decimal, my fourth $8.25, and line up my decimal for my $3.78. And I'll add them all together. Okay, I'm going to add all of my 5s first and count by 5. So I say 5, 10, 15, 20, plus 8 is 28. Put down the 8, carry the 2. Now I'm going to count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, plus 7 is 17. Put down the 7, carry the 1. I'll bring down my decimal. Now I'm going to skip the 1 for a minute and count by 8s because I think that will be faster to count by 8s. 8, 16, 24, 32, plus 3 is 35, plus the 1 up top is 36. Put down the 6 and the 3. Don't forget my $sign. So either way that I solve this problem, by first multiplying then adding, or by adding everything all together, I get $36.78. So this is a word problem. Let's go back and answer that final question. How much does Jenna spend at Chipotle? Jenna spends $36.78 at Chipotle. And that is my final answer. So you do need to draw the diagram, and once the diagram is drawn and you find out who you need to find out about, in this case it was Jenna, you can choose to solve it either by the multiplication method, which then required addition after it, or by the addition method. The one thing that I like about the addition method is add, subtract decimals is always straight decimals, so my mind is staying focused on one strategy rather than the dancing them and then adding them together. But you choose what's best for you to find your final answer. Please stop the video and complete worksheet number 1 right now. Okay, let's take a look at example number 2. Brianna buys a pair of jeans for $24.99. Her friend Ava spends $3.50 more for the same pair of jeans. Megan paid the same price as Ava, but she bought 2 pairs. How much did Megan spend? The final question is asking me, how much did Megan spend? So my answer has to do with Megan. Let's go back to the problem and see what I do know to start my diagram. First sentence, Brianna buys a pair of jeans for $24.99. So let's draw Brianna's picture. When I look at the names, I notice I have Brianna, Ava, and Megan. They all start with different letters, so I think I'm okay with abbreviating for this problem. So I'll put my B for Brianna. I know that she spent $24.99, so I'll write my $24.99 inside my rectangle. Okay, I'm done with Brianna. Let's move on to the next sentence. The next sentence says her friend Ava spends $3.50 more for the same pair of jeans. So I'm talking about Ava. She spends $3.50 more. More is a plus sign because I'm adding more. And it says for the same pair of jeans. Well, who else bought jeans? Brianna. So who am I really comparing Ava to? I'm comparing her to the same pair of jeans that Brianna bought. So I'm comparing her to Brianna. So let's draw Ava's picture. So I'll write an A for Ava. And since I'm comparing Ava's jeans to Brianna's jeans, I'm going to draw the picture for Brianna's jeans right underneath Ava. Whoever you're comparing the person to, you draw that exact same picture underneath. So I'll draw the same picture, which is the rectangle with $24.99 in it. Now when I go back to my yellow question, it says that Ava spends $3.50 more. So I have to add another box, because more means to add, with $3.50. So we'll do plus $3.50. And if you look at that, that does make sense. This picture does show that Ava spends $3.50 more than Brianna spends. Okay, let's move on to my next sentence. The next sentence says Megan paid the same price as Ava, so I'm comparing Megan to Ava, but she actually bought 2 pairs. So if she bought 2 pairs, she really did what Ava did 2 times. So let's draw Megan's picture. So I'll put an M for Megan, and since I'm comparing her to Ava, I have to draw Ava's exact picture first. So here's Ava's picture. I have a box with $24.99 in it, plus another box with $3.50 in it. This is what Ava's picture looks like. I go back to the pink sentence, and it says she paid the same price as Ava, so I have Ava's picture, but she bought 2 pairs. So I have to have Ava's picture 2 times, since she bought that same pair twice. I'll draw another picture just like Ava has. So she bought 1 pair of jeans that was the exact same price as Ava's, and a second pair of jeans that was the exact same price as Ava's. Now let's look at my question. My question wants to know how much Megan spends. So the only person's picture I'll be concentrating on is Megan's. How can I solve this problem? Well, there's 2 ways. The first way that I could solve it, and you decide which way you like better, would be to solve what's inside the first box. So I have inside that first big blue rectangle, I have $24.99 plus $3.50. Add, subtract decimals, always straight decimals, so I make sure I line them up. And I'll say 9 plus 0 is 9, and 9 plus 5 is 14. Put down the 4, carry the 1, bring down my decimal. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 3 is 8, 2 plus nothing is 2, and bring down my $sign. So the first blue rectangle is $28.49. But I know that I have 2 of those rectangles, so I can take that $28.49 and I can multiply it by 2. Remember, multiply, divide decimals must dance decimals. So first I have to dance decimal Dan out 2 places, circle them up, and then I multiply. 2 times 9 is 18, put down the 8, carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 2 times 8 is 16, put down the 6, carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. This is money, so put my $sign and dance decimal Dan back in 2 places to come up with $56.98. If that solution seems confusing to you, let's look at our second solution, or our different solution. And another way I could solve this is I could simply add everything up. $24.99 plus $3.50 plus $24.99 plus $3.50. Since I'm adding, add, subtract decimals is always straight decimals. I need to line them up. So I say $24.99, line up my decimal, $3.50, fill in that place value 0. Another $24.99, so line up my decimal, and then another 350, line up my decimal, fill in my place value 0, and I can go ahead and add them. 9 plus 0 is 9, plus 9 is 18, plus 0 keeps it at 18, so I put down the 8, carry the 1. Here I'm going to add my 9s first. 9 and 9 is 18, and I see 5 and 5 is 10, so 18 plus 10 is 28, plus 1 is 29. Put down the 9, carry the 2, bring down my decimal. So I'm going to add 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 3 is 9, plus 4 is 13, plus 3 is 16. Put down the 6, carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 2 is 5. Put down the 5 and the dollar sign. So again, with this solution, I get $56.98. So whichever is your preferred method, whichever way you choose to solve it, either way, the question says, how much did Megan spend? And Megan spent $56.98. And that's my final answer. Please stop the video and complete worksheet number 2 right now. So let's look at our final example, example number 3. Brandon bought a puzzle for $8.95. He bought a book that cost twice as much as the puzzle. And he also bought a poster that cost $2.50 less than the book. How much did Brandon's poster cost? Well, I know here that we're only talking about one person this time. It's Brandon. What did Brandon do? He bought 3 different items, a puzzle, a book, and a poster. So I'm not going to be writing Brandon's name. I'm going to be writing the items because that's what's different. The final question says, how much did Brandon's poster cost? So I'm going to circle poster. That's what I'm concerned about. So let's go back to the question step by step to start our picture. First sentence says, Brandon bought a puzzle for $8.95. So let's draw the picture for Brandon's puzzle. So before I abbreviate, let's do a quick check in the problem, and we're going to be comparing a puzzle, a book, and a poster. And since puzzle and poster both start with P, I don't think I can abbreviate. I need to write the whole word. So I have puzzle, and how much did the puzzle cost? $8.95. That's my first item. Let's go back and see what the second sentence tells us. The second sentence says he bought a book that cost twice as much as the puzzle. So I'm comparing the book to the puzzle. So I'll write down book and draw the exact same picture that the puzzle has. So I write down book, I'm comparing it to the puzzle, so I draw the puzzle's picture, a rectangle with $8.95 in it. It says the book costs twice as much as the puzzle. So twice is 2 times. I need the picture to be drawn 2 times. I have one already, so this is the second time I'll draw the picture. And that makes sense. The picture for my book is twice the picture for my puzzle. Okay, let's move on to the next sentence. My next sentence says he also bought a poster that cost $2.50 less. Oh, less means minus than the book. So we're comparing the poster to the book. So I'll write down poster. And if I'm comparing it to the book, I have to draw the book's exact picture. So let's copy the book's picture right here. It had 2 rectangles with $8.95 in it. That compared it to the book, and now let's see what's different. It says that it costs $2.50 less than the book. So if it's less, I'm going to subtract the $2.50. The final question says, how much did Brandon's poster cost? So I'm focusing in on the poster only. How can I solve this problem? One of 2 ways. I see 2 rectangles with $8.95 in it, so I can say $8.95 times 2, and this is multiplication. Multiply, divide decimals, must dance decimals, so let's dance decimal Dan out 1, 2 places, circle him up. We multiply. 2 times 5 is 10, put down the 0, carry the 1. 2 times 9 is 18, plus 1 is 19, put down the 9, carry the 1. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17, put down the 7 and the 1. It's money, so put down my dollar sign and dance decimal Dan back in his 2 places, which gives me $17.90. But then we have a minus $2.50. So I'll take that $17.90 and I'm going to subtract. Add, subtract decimals, always straight decimals. So I'm going to line that up, and I can subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0, 9 minus 5 is 4, bring down my decimal, 7 minus 2 is 5, and 1 minus nothing is 1. So it looks like the poster cost $15.40. If this solution seems confusing to you, we can always solve it in another way. We can say the $8.95 plus $8.95 and then subtract the $2.50. So let's look at the second solution if you prefer that. Add subtract decimals, always straight decimals. I had two 8.95s, so I'll add them together, line up my decimal, and I'll say 5 plus 5 is 10, put down the 0, carry the 1. 9 and 9 is 18, plus 1 is 19, put down the 9, carry the 1, bring down my decimal. 8 and 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17, so I have $17.90, and then I took away $2.50. Again, add subtract decimals, always straight decimals. So I'll do my $2.50, fill in my place value 0, and I'll go ahead and subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0, 9 minus 5 is 4, bring down my decimal, 7 minus 2 is 5, 1 minus nothing is 1. So either way that I choose to solve it, I get $15.40. And it's a word problem. It wants to know how much Brandon's poster cost. So Brandon's poster cost $15.40. That's my final answer. Please stop the video and complete worksheet number 3 right now. So let's review. When you have a word problem and it says somebody has a certain number of times more than someone else, that's your clue to draw a diagram. Remember that if it doesn't give you the total that everybody spent, it would not be the division type of draw diagram. You'd have to either add or multiply to figure it out. We always take our first person and we draw a diagram for our first person. We take the next person, and if we're comparing it to somebody, we draw that first person's exact picture as we did right here. And then again, for this one, if it said 4 times as much, now we have to make it to be a total of 4 times that picture. When we look at the next one, Jenna, we compared to Shannon. So for Jenna, since we were comparing her to Shannon, we drew Shannon's picture, which was 4 of the rectangles with 825, and then she spent $3.78 more, so we added the $3.78 on. Look at your final question and figure that out for that person. You can choose whichever solution you like to figure it out. Either way, you should get the same correct answer. Sometimes when you're doing a comparison, as in this problem, the poster costs $2.50 less, so less would mean that you need to subtract afterwards. This is a more difficult lesson, and you may not be able to confidently say this yet, but we will be practicing much more in class. Certainly see a teacher if you have any questions or concerns, but by the time we're done with practice, we're hoping that you can confidently say, I can use the strategy, draw a diagram, to help solve a decimal multiplication problem. Good luck with this lesson.